Hi, my name is Melissa Barber. I'm a faculty member and lecturer here at the UNCW School of Nursing. I teach in the face-to-face clinical rotations, and I also teach in the RN to BS program online. My research focus for PhD is distance education in online nursing programs. So today I'm going to talk to you briefly about engaging the learner in the online environment. The first things are going to start with you and your preparation for the course. Remember that preparation is key in order to have a well-organized course that the student can easily maneuver through and understand expectations. Provide clear and concise instructions for each assignment and offer time for questions, such as a general discussion board, and times that you may be available to speak to the student on the phone or either through Skype or other types of web-type conferencing. Students should receive detailed information regarding where to go for help with technology, since this has been identified as a major challenge in distance education programs. The course backgrounds that you choose from whichever platform you're working with should be visually pleasing to the student. You should also consider changing that background throughout the session so that they don't get bored with what they're seeing each time they log in. Prior to the beginning of the course, you should contact the students about 2 weeks ahead of time. And in this communication, we are establishing upfront that we are engaged in their education. We're establishing our teaching presence. This will likely increase their interest in the course and their engagement in the learning activities that are designed for course content. When you contact them, what should be included in that email should be syllabus, schedule, any other faculty expectations that aren't outlined in the syllabus, and certainly a very warm welcome. I suggest resending this information about 1 week prior to the start of the course in case there were late registrations that may not have gotten your initial email. When the course is ready to be open and you're ready to let the students come in and start looking around the course, please let them know that you've done that so they know that it's there for them to take a look at. When you're establishing the social presence in the online learning environment, there are multiple ways to do that. And one of the first ways we're going to talk about are introductions and icebreakers. Traditionally written introductions have worked in the online environment where the student goes in, describes themselves, what they do, and why they are enrolled in the course. Some faculty members allow them to add pictures, but it doesn't go without saying that you need to make sure you're monitoring pictures for appropriateness when you have students posting them in your course. Writing the introduction may be a little less engaging than you think, and this happens because in programs like RN to BS, you have a lot of students that are in the same courses throughout the length of the program. They may just copy and paste the same introduction for each course unless separate requirements for that posting are instructed. This can get a little monotonous for the students, not only the ones who are posting, but the ones that are reading. So you may consider some other options or making a more structured design for what you actually want to have in their written introductions. Another option that you can use is video introduction. It's basically the same as the written, but it's recorded and uploaded into your course. Again, you need to monitor that for appropriateness as well. This is a great way for people to put a face with a name. This can also be very helpful in your courses if you are going to be using technology and voice recordings or video recordings as parts of assignments. The technology can be very challenging, so make sure, as I said in the beginning, you have help readily available to assist the students. Nothing's going to kill their engagement like struggling through an assignment in the very first week of the course. One of the other options you can consider, besides those types of introductions where the student really creates things, is making a guided icebreaker so that the students get to know common things about one another in creative ways. One of the activities that's popular is called Miss Computercation. And in this activity, the students actually take an experience they might have had in an online learning environment or with technology, detail that experience, and we'd like for it to be a negative experience so they could tell the other students in the course what they learned from it, how they resolved it, and how it will prevent them from making that mistake again. If your students are using technology for the first time or maybe in a long time, this can be a really nice activity to decrease the fear and anxiety of utilizing technology for their education. Another icebreaker you can consider is a name mnemonic. So taking the person's name and having them design a mnemonic that describes them and offers a good description of how they see themselves. So for example, if the person's name is Amy, A could be for affectionate, M could be for meticulous, and Y could be for youthful. And you can have them use whatever types of descriptors they want to so that other people in the group get a clear picture of how that person actually describes himself. Another icebreaker could be a group resume. And these are really important and nice to use if you're going to include group work in some of your assignments. I would assign the groups at the beginning of the first week, have them meet and greet each other virtually, and then give them a format to design a group resume that outlines their professional practices and experiences. I would then have them post that to a general discussion board and have the other groups respond to them in how many ever responses and posts that you decide are right for your course. One of my favorite icebreakers is called a room with a view. And this requires creativity and imagination on not only the part of who's presenting, but on the part of the people who are reading these as well. The student should describe in detail their view from a favorite window or a favorite room in their home or any other place where they feel extraordinarily comfortable in their environment. Include some autobiographical information so that we can see why that space is important to them. Some faculty members have the students attach a picture or an image of that which they're describing in their written detailed description of this room with a view. However, what I found is this tends to be a little disengaging because other students can just click on the image without reading the description and haven't been able to engage in that creativity and seeing that picture without having an actual image to view. It can take away from the detail of the richness of the description, so my suggestion is if you want to have them post that picture, maybe make it a 2-week introduction and have them post the pictures on week 2. An example of what it sounds like for a room with a view is this. I'm looking out the place we planted our first tree. It has been 5 years, and I am amazed by how much it's grown. The extension of the roots from the base of the tree and how many experiences our family has been through while this tree grows. The tulips have bloomed a bright red with deep green stems. The grass looks beautiful this time of year. So that's some of the details that they might want to include. And perhaps their favorite room is the room where they sit when it rains outside. So they could be describing what that's looking like when it's rolling down their window or hitting the leaves on the tree. And of course you do then have the option to attach an image, which can be nice for people to be able to view exactly and see exactly what that learner was trying to describe. Other activities that you would want to try are, they're out there, multiple introductions and icebreaker opportunities. So of course you don't have to choose the ones that I've listed. These are just ones that I've used that have really engaged the learner in the process. Be sure that you're going to require your students to respond to at least 2 other students. Make the focus on the person, not on the course content. This helps them to be a little bit more creative in what they're writing. And it also forces students to find things in common with other students that are in their groups. The activities should be fun and non-threatening and require imagination and creativity. Another way that you can engage your student in the online learning environment is group assignments and collaborative learning. This provides an opportunity for the students to engage for the purposes of accomplishing a common goal. The assignments can be specifically assigned by faculty, or the group can decide on what they want to present as long as it focuses on the course content. They need clear instructions about the amount of participation that should be required for each of them, inform them of how they're going to be evaluated, and be clear about the due dates. Let them know how to anonymously report to faculty members those group members that may be what we call free riding, so those who aren't putting forth the effort they should be. And an example of a group or collaborative learning activity might be a SWOT analysis. So have them identify a clinical issue that's common to the group or a common healthcare or nursing issue. Assign group roles, who's going to turn in this, who's going to edit this, and that decision should come from the group, not from faculty. They then conduct a SWOT analysis on how to gain insight into the issue they've identified. Over a couple of weeks, maybe 2 to 3 weeks, have them write up their SWOT analysis in whatever format you choose. Work on the draft for a couple of weeks before submitting the final draft to faculty members. Another way to continue that engagement if you're using group assignments is to include peer evaluation. This is a creative method for engaging the learner and helping the students to learn how to use constructive criticism and to critique. This allows the faculty member also to have a clearer view of who participated well and who might have been on the edge or actually been free riding through the entire assignment. Students have reported that this is a very positive experience, and they said they learned more actually when they were doing peer evaluations than they would have if not. Remember that the students are not faculty, so they'll need explicit instructions on how to use a rubric for evaluating their peers. And this should be a consistent document, and you should put that out there and start teaching them about this from the beginning of the course. Another method for engagement is the reflective learning journal. And this has the student make connections between course content and professional practice. It can integrate course-taught frameworks and ideas with their learning experiences in their work and professional lives. And it should not be a list of things they learned, but it should be an examination of how they take that content and implement it in useful situations. You can provide a prompt for each of the reflecting learning journals or just let the student freely write. That is up to you as the faculty member. A common method for engagement that we use is discussion boards and blogs. These are commonly used when students need to summarize content required for the course. You need prompts for writing these, so make sure you provide an outline of what the expectation is for a graded discussion board or blog. They need explicit instructions on when to post initially and when and how many times they are to post responses to their peers. Include that time frame so that they don't start posting on the last day of a module or of a learning week, because then there has been likely no engagement or participation with the rest of the students in the group. This should mimic a face-to-face conversation about the course content. Remember that engaging the learner is going to start with you. Stay active in your course. Respond to requests and emails as promptly as possible. Have resources available to help with technology, and use course evaluations and input from your students to assist with course improvements. I hope you can take some of these tips and tricks and implement them into your course so that you can help the students remain engaged throughout the length of your course or session. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.